Welcome back to my channel. Before proceeding, I urge every one of you to subscribe to my channel by using the URL youtube.com/HANU7. Open any video or at least watch until the end of the video, or otherwise you can skip the video, and at the end you will get subscribe button for every video. Click on that subscribe button. If you don't want to get the continuous notifications, just leave the bell icon which is having all options, all notifications options. Okay. So as I promised yesterday that we will be going to discuss about this modus operandi of criminals, cyber criminals especially. So what do you mean by modus operandi means the way the cyber criminals will work. Okay, so the different tactics they will achieve, they will use different tactics, a variety of tactics to achieve their goals. What is their goal here? Their goal is to steal money or steal the data. So here are some of the common frauds. They are phishing. Phishing is nothing but there are three types of phishing: email phishing, smishing, and wishing. We will see one by one. So first we will see email phishing. What do you mean by email phishing? Sending emails that appear to be from a legitimate source. Legitimate source means trusted one, like from the government agencies or the banks. Okay, so they will trick the victim. They will trick the recipients to click on malicious links. Okay, so by if you click on that malicious links, or if you open any attachments that comes with the mail, then the malware will be introduced automatically into your systems. Next comes smishing. This is especially used to lure the victims in the mobile phones. You will get SMS messages to lure victims into clicking on malicious links. So you should be careful whenever a message, either in the form of WhatsApp or in the form of a text message appears. You should not click on any suspicious links. The next is wishing. Voice calls to trick the victims into revealing sensitive information. So these are the three types of phishing. Now we will see how malware distribution happens. Drive-by downloads, infecting users' computers when they visit websites that contain malicious code, and then malicious email attachments, attaching a malware to emails to and trick the recipients into opening them, exploiting vulnerabilities, targeting the software vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access to the systems. Certain softwares or certain apps will be having some vulnerabilities. They will be updated in the next update version. They will remove that vulnerabilities. But before updating only, these cyber criminals will target you with the help of that vulnerability in that software. Next comes social engineering. In the social engineering category, there are three types. One is pretexting, second one is biting, third one is quid pro quo. We will discuss one by one. What do you mean by pretexting? Creating a false scenario or identity to trick the victims into revealing sensitive information. So you should avoid revealing sensitive information for certain websites or for certain people, those who are unfamiliar with you. Next is biting. What do you mean by biting? Offer something valuable such as gift or discount to entice victims into clicking on the malicious links or opening attachments. They will offer you gifts or discounts. So by looking at the discount, if you click on the link, then you will fall prey for this kind of technique called biting. This comes under the category social engineering. Okay. The next is quid pro quo. Offer something in exchange for the personal information, such as access to a website or service. Okay. So what is this quid pro quo? We will discuss in detail later. Next comes denial of service attacks. DOS attacks, we'll call it as overwhelming a network or server with huge traffic to make it inaccessible. Okay, then there is one more category of this DOS attacks called as distributed denial of service attacks, using multiple compromised systems to launch a DOS attack. Then comes ransomware, encrypt victims' data and demanding a ransom payment in exchange for the decryption. This we have discussed in the last video only. The next comes identity theft, stealing personal information to assume someone else's identity and commit fraud. Especially this happens in social media networks. Okay, they will create a fake profile and they will show that false identity and they will commit frauds, especially related to financial frauds. Data breaches, gaining unauthorized access to database or system and stealing sensitive information. This is called as data breaches, or also called as data leakages. Moving ahead, supply chain attacks, targeting a third party supplier or a vendor to gain access to large organizations network. That large organizations, say for example a car manufacturing company, it depends upon the different suppliers. One will supply some parts belongs to the engine. Okay, so during that process, in order to access into that organizations, we will be depending on the third party suppliers. So these cyber criminals, what they will do, they will target the third party suppliers or vendors to gain access to large organizations network. In what way they will gain access? They will ask they will ask the vendors to put some vulnerabilities in their software. If it is related to electronics product, or if it is related to hardware product, they will they will make the product inaccessible. They will use certain techniques for the malfunction of the product. The next comes cryptocurrency related crimes. Using cryptocurrency to launder money, fund terrorism, or engage in other illicit activities. Okay, so it is important to be aware of these tactics and take steps to protect yourself from cybercrime. This includes using a strong passwords. What do you mean by strong password? I explained in the previous classes only. You have to use uppercase letters, lowercase letters, special characters, and symbols, and sorry, numbers. So minimum should be 8 to 12 length. In the password size should be 8 to 12 length, 12 characters in length. So be cautious about clicking on the links. Just now we have discussed smishing, phishing, and wishing. So you should not fall prey for such kind of suspicious links from unknown sources, and keep your software up to date. Then that completes the modus operandi. Then we will discuss about reporting cybercrimes in India. Cybercrimes can range from online harassment to identity theft and financial fraud. There are different types of cybercrimes, which will be either online harassment or identity theft and financial fraud. If you have been a victim, it's important to report the incident promptly. Here are some key steps you can take. Gather the evidence. What is called as evidence? You have to capture the screenshots, whatever they have sent a message. You can capture the screenshot of that one. You have to keep records. Okay, not only capturing the messages is important, you have to keep record of any financial transactions or losses associated with the crime. This is a very important point. You have to maintain the records of all the losses that happened that associated with the crime. IP address, if possible, note any IP addresses or URLs involved. So that is about gathering evidence. Contact your service provider. Actually, the service provider will be ISP, Internet Service Provider. You have to contact ISP about the cybercrime and request their assistance. Financial institution. If your crime is related to financial fraud, then you can contact your bank or credit card company immediately. Moving ahead. Then third point is file a complaint with cybercrime reporting portal. There is a reporting portal in India called as National Cybercrime Reporting Portal. Visit the official website, official government portal for reporting cybercrimes in India. Provide details. Fill out the required information, including your contact details, the nature of the crime, and supporting evidences. Okay, it is not only your job is completed here. You have to retain the all the evidences with you. Okay, some attackers may steal the evidences also, because the digital evidences are also not safe. You have to encrypt them and keep it safe in the local storages if possible. Contact law enforcement. You can contact a police station and file a complaint with the local police station. They can provide guidance and initiate an investigation. Or you can also contact cybercrime investigation cell if available. Contact the cybercrime investigation cell in your state or region. Okay, definitely there will be cybercrime investigation cell in every state in India. Next comes cybercrimes can range from online harassment to identity theft and financial fraud. Okay, this is a repeated point. So it is every way, it is in every slides, it is available. So fifth point is seek legal advice. Contact lawyer, okay, who is specialized in the cybercrime law, especially the lawyer should be specialized in the cybercrime law. You can contact him or her. They can provide legal advice and assist you in the legal process. The next is important considerations for reporting cybercrimes. Prompt reporting is the first one. The sooner you report the crime, the better chances of recovering any losses or preventing further damage. Okay, you can also get the data which is lost, or also you can prevent the further damage. Evidence preservation. Avoid deleting any evidence related to the crime until the investigation is complete. This is very important point. Just now I told you that you have to preserve the evidence up to until the completion of investigation. Safety measures. Take steps to protect your personal information and devices to prevent future cyber attacks. Okay, so you have to regularly update your devices operating system, okay, or otherwise antivirus. You have to use only branded antivirus which is licensed one. Okay, if you can do like that, then you can protect your personal information and your devices to prevent further cyber attacks. Remember, reporting cybercrimes is crucial for protecting yourself and others from being victims. By following these steps and seeking a professional assistance, you can help combat cybercrime and bring perpetrators to justice. Who are called as perpetrators here? The cyber criminals. You can produce them in the front of the law or in front of the court. For more information, you can visit the official website of National Cybercrime Reporting Portal in India. Now, coming to the specific cybercrime mitigation techniques and legal frameworks. What do you mean by mitigation techniques? Means the preventive steps. Those are called as mitigation techniques. Specific cybercrime mitigation techniques. First one is phishing prevention. Second one is ransomware protection. The next is data loss prevention. That is also called as DLP. So this includes three steps. Data classification, classify data based on the sensitivity and implement appropriate protection measures. Monitor and prevention, monitor network traffic and data transfers to detect and prevent unauthorized data exfiltration. As we have seen just now in the zero day and zero click attacks, especially DOS attacks, they will overwhelm with the huge data traffic, so that you should monitor your network traffic regularly. Data encryption, encrypt sensitive data at the rest and in the transit. This is very important point. At the rest, in the sense, before sending the data, you have to encrypt it, and in the process of sending, it is said to be in the transit. Okay, at our side, it is said to be in the rest, and in the process of transmission, it is said to be transit. So you can protect it from unauthorized access. Moving ahead, special legal frameworks for reporting cybercrimes. GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. What is the purpose of this GDPR? It provides data privacy, it provides accountability, it provides data breach notification. These are the responsibilities of this GDPR. It should ensure the protection of personal data for end users, okay, end user residents. It should also accountable. It should feel accountability. For what purpose? Because it requires organizations to demonstrate and compliance with the GDPR principles. It has to make sure that the different organizations should demonstrate the compliance with GDPR principles. Data breach notifications. Mandate notifications of data breaches to the affected individuals and authorities. The next comes CFAA, Computer Fraud and Abusive Act. So here involves federal law, prohibits unauthorized access to computers and networks. Cybercrime penalties impose penalties for various cybercrimes, including hacking, identity theft, and fraud. We will discuss in detail about what are the laws available for the cyber crimes, different types of cyber crimes. Next comes cybersecurity framework, which is also called as NIST CSF. CSF stands for Cybersecurity Framework. And here there are few points, like one is risk management. It should provide it provides a framework for identifying, assessing, and managing cyber security risks. It should identify the point under identify is understand the organization's business context and assets. Next is protect. Implement security controls to safeguard assets. Next is detect. Identify and monitor security events. Respond. Contain. That means it has to stop, investigate, and recover from security incidents. Okay. Whenever any security incident happen, it should contain first. It should start investigation and recover the data or the amount whatever that is lost in that particular cyber crime. Recover. Restore operations and learn from the incident. This is very important. Learn from the incident. You should not only restore the operations, but you should learn from the incident. Now, coming to the remedial and mitigation measures. Remedial measures in cybercrime refer to actions taken to address and resolve a cyber attack or incident after it has occurred. These measures aim to minimize the damage, restore systems, and prevent future occurrences. Mitigation measures are proactive steps taken to reduce the likelihood and impact of cyber attacks. They involve implementing security practices and technologies to strengthen defenses and protect against vulnerabilities. So, what are the remedial measures available? We will see first one by one. Incident response. Develop and implement a comprehensive incident response plan. Okay, you should be ready with your incident response plan. Contain the breach and prevent further damage. Investigate the incident to identify the root cause and the attackers. What is the root cause of that cybercrime and who are the attackers? You have to identify, investigate, and identify them. Eradicate the threat and restore systems. Next is notify affected parties if necessary. You should not leave the affected parties like that, just like that. Okay, you have to notify them something went wrong with your system. Okay. Next comes data recovery. Implement a robust data backup and recovery procedures. Restore lost or compromised data from backups. Consider using cloud based backup solutions for redundancy. Next comes legal action. Consult with legal experts to explore the legal options. Gather evidence to support the potential legal claims. Next is consider reporting the incident to the law enforcement agencies. Next comes mitigation measures. Network security. Implement firewalls, IDS, and IDS stands for intrusion detection systems, so that you can prevent intrusions, or otherwise there is one more technique called IPS, intrusion prevention systems. You should implement strong firewalls, IDS and IPS, so that you can provide the network security. Regularly update the software and its patches. Okay, so whenever there is update available, you should not hesitate to update it. Segment networks to limit the spread of malware. Okay, just in the previous video only we have seen what is the importance of segmentation. So you have to segment networks to limit the spread of malware. Monitor network traffic for suspicious activity. If you encounter any suspicious activity, then you can take the action accordingly. Next comes very important point, user education and awareness. Conduct regular security awareness training for employees. Educate users about phishing scams and social engineering and other common threats. Promote strong password practices and avoid sharing sensitive information online. Next is access controls. Implement strong access controls to restrict unauthorized access. Use multi-factor authentication for critical systems. Regularly review and update the user permissions. Okay. So there will be different users in the network. You already know admins will be there and uh, users will be there. So admin will be having its or her own privileges. Users will have a limited privileges. Next comes data encryption. Encrypt sensitive data both at rest and in transit. Just now I told you what do you mean by rest and in the transit. Use encryption algorithms that are resistant to attacks. You have to use strong encryption algorithm that are resistant to attacks. Regular vulnerability assessments. Conduct regular vulnerability assessments to identify the weaknesses. And you can also prioritize and address the vulnerabilities based on the risk. Business continuity planning. Develop a business continuity plan to ensure the operations can continue in the event of cyber attack. Just in the previous video only I told you, if ransomware attack occurs, it will encrypt the servers and all the employees will be left without any work on that day. It will be huge financial loss for that organization. They have to pay without any work to their employees. Test the plan regularly to identify and address any shortcomings. By combining remedial and mitigation measures, organizations can effectively protect themselves against cyber threats and minimize the potential damage caused by the attacks. Next comes the legal perspectives of cybercrime. So, what are the legal perspectives of cybercrime? Cybercrime, as a relatively new phenomenon, has presented unique challenges to legal systems worldwide. Laws have had evolved rapidly to address the complexities of digital offenses and ensure justice is served. This is the main point of these legal perspectives of a cybercrime. They have to make that, they have to make sure that justice is served to the victims. Okay. So no victim is left alone. Then key challenges. Jurisdiction is the first challenge. Determining appropriate jurisdiction for cybercrimes can be complex, especially when the crime involves multiple countries, because the internet is available throughout the world. So it will be very difficult for defining, for creating a certain jurisdiction for different types of crimes. International cooperation and extradition treaties are essential to address these challenges. What do you mean by treaties? Means a license agreement, or they will do some kind of agreement, right? That is called as international cooperation and extradition treaties. So either here also you have to gather evidence and preserve. Gathering and preserving digital evidence can be difficult due to its volatile nature. Okay, so the digital data is volatile in nature and potential for tampering. Instead of producing the original evidence, some cyber criminals are so clever that they will tamper the evidence. Establish the chain of the custody for digital evidences is crucial for its as admissibility in the court. Okay, this is very important point. Establishing a chain of custody for digital evidence is crucial for its admissibility in the court. The court requires always proof. If there is no proper proof, we cannot produce the criminals. We don't know who is the criminal in the cyber crimes. Technological expertise. Legal professionals often require specialized technical knowledge to understand and prosecute the cyber crimes. He is highlighting a main point here. So, legal professionals often require specialized technical knowledge. For what purpose? To understand and prosecute the cyber crimes. The involvement of digital forensics expert is often necessary. Even the digital forensics should be available so that we can use this technological expertise persons for gathering digital forensics evidences also. Anonymity and traceability. Anonymity provided by the internet can make it challenging to identify and apprehend the cyber criminals. Law enforcement agencies. These agencies must employ advanced techniques to trace digital footprints. International cooperation. Cybercrimes often have a global reach, necessitating international cooperation among law enforcement agencies. Treaties and agreements are essential for addressing the transnational cybercrime. Key legal frameworks. Here also comes the same CFAA, Computer Fraud Abusive Act, a US federal law that prohibits unauthorized access to computers and networks. Council for European Convention on Cybercrime, an international treaty that establishes standards for criminalizing cybercrimes and facilitating international cooperation. GDPR, General Data Purpose Regulation, just now we have discussed. It also belongs to a European Union regulation that sets strict rules for the collection, use, and protection of personal data. Then comes Data Protection Act 2018. This also belongs to UK. Its job is to protect the data. I mean, the UK's data protection law, which implements the GDPR. This particular law is implemented by this Act 2018, which belongs to UK. Prohibition orders. Courts can impose restrictions on cyber criminals' use of computers or the internet. Okay. Next comes other things. Penalties for cybercrimes can vary widely depending upon the jurisdiction and the severity of the offenses. Common penalties include fines. Monetary penalties can be substantial, especially for large scale cyber attacks. Imprisonment. Cyber criminals can face jail time ranging from few months to several years. Restitution. Offenders may be required to compensate the victims for their losses. Whatever the losses they have faced, either in the form of data or in the form of money, they have to repay it. That is called as restitution. Prohibition orders. Court can impose restrictions on cyber criminals' use of computers or the internet. The next comes sections. There is in India IPC is there, Indian Penal Code. Sending a threatening messages by email, it comes under the IPC section 503. You can approach the court using this IPC section 503. Sending defamatory messages by email, it comes under the IPC section 499. Forgery of electronic records, it comes under the category IPC section 463. Bogus website and cyber fraud, Indian Penal Code IPC 420. Email spoofing, it comes under the IPC section 463. What do you mean by email spoofing? They will be sending unnecessary mails which are not at all required for us. Then comes webjacking, same like hijacking. They will hack the domain of that particular website and they will put the content on behalf of us. That is called as webjacking. It comes under the section IPC 383. The next is email abuse. It comes under the IPC section 500. So just now I explained email spoofing is nothing but a cybercrime where criminals sends emails with fake sender address to trick the recipients into believing it's from a trusted source. Illegally seeking control of a website by taking over a domain is known as webjacking. Just now I told you even this point also. Webjacking attack method is another type of social engineering phishing attack. It comes under the category of phishing attack. Webjacking attack method is one of the kind of a trap which is spread by the attacker to steal the sensitive data of any people, and those people got trapped who are not aware about cyber security. Those people who are not aware of the cyber security, they will be under the trap. So this Information Technology Act 2000 defines electronic records as any data, image, or record that is stored, received, or sent in electronic form. This includes text, documents, images, audio, and video, and web pages, and many more. So we will discuss what is IT Act 2000 and its amendments. The Information Technology Act 2000, it is called as IT Act, is a significant piece of legislation in India that governs the legal framework for all electronic e-commerce, digital signatures, and cybercrime. It has undergone several amendments over the years to address the evolving landscape of the technology and its associated challenges. We will see what are the key provisions of IT Act 2000. Electronic governance is the first one. This act promotes the use of electronic means for the governance and transactions. Next comes digital signatures. It provides a legal framework for the digital signatures, making them equivalent to handwritten signatures. These days, every e-commerce platform uses digital signature only. Nobody will sign on every slip. Okay, your invoice will be coming with the digital signature. Next comes cybercrime. This IT Act defines various cybercrimes such as hacking, identity theft, and cyber defamation, and prescribes penalties for such offenses. Intellectual property. It protects it protects the IPR, intellectual property rights, in the digital realm, including copyright, trademark, and patent. Electronic records. The Act recognizes electronic records as a legal evidence. So, coming to the next slide, Information Technology Amendment Act 2008. Actually, this act was introduced in the year 2000, but its amendment came in the year 2008. This amendment introduces provisions to address issues like spam, phishing, cyber terrorism. Okay. So next comes Information Technology Amendment Act 2009. This amendment focused on enhancing the protection of personal data and introduced provisions for intermediaries like social media platforms to take down offensive content, who are called as intermediaries, the mediators between the senders and receivers over social media. The next comes Information Technology Amendment Act 2011. From 2008, they are keep on reviewing the amendments. We have amendment in the year 2008, in the year 2009, and in the year 2011. This amendment strengthened the provisions related to cybercrime, including penalties for offenses like cyber stalking and child pornography. What do you mean by cyber stalking? Means they will follow us on the over the internet. That is called as cyber stalking. Child pornography, you already know. I need not explain. So, Information Technology Amendment Act 2016. This amendment introduced the provisions for intermediaries to assist law enforcement agencies in investigations and introduced a safe harbor provisions for intermediaries who comply with certain conditions. Information Technology Amendment Act 2018. This amendment introduced provisions for blocking of websites that disseminate harmful content related to child pornography or terrorism. So, if anybody involves sending some sensitive information related to one country to another country, that comes under the category called terrorism, cyber terrorism. So, you can use this IT Act 2018 amendment. Okay. Next comes IT Act 2000 amendments continuation. Key recent amendments and developments. Data localization. There have been discussed and proposals for data localizations in India, which would require certain data to be stored locally within the country. Artificial intelligence. The government is exploring the potential of AI and its implications for the IT Act 2000. Okay. Cybersecurity. The government has taken steps to strengthen cybersecurity measures and protect critical infrastructure. The IT Act, along with its amendments, has played a crucial role in shaping India's digital landscape. However, it is important to note that rapid pace of technological advancements may require further updates and amendments to ensure the law remains relevant and effective. Okay, so the purpose of this IT Act is it has to provide, it has to come with so many amendments so that it will play a crucial role in shaping India's digital landscape. However, it is important to note that rapid pace of technology advancements may further require updates and amendments to ensure the law remains relevant and effective. IT Act 2000 and its amendments. So the we will discuss section wise. Section 43 will be dealing with the act of it will be dealing with the act of destroying, altering, or stealing a computer's system or network or deleting data with malicious intentions. Okay, they are liable for the payment without authorization from the owner of the computer is liable for the payment to be made to the owner as a compensation for damage. There is no imprisonment or fine in this, but they have to compensate the damages, whatever that has happened. If somebody deletes the data with malicious intentions, are liable for this under this section 43. Then there is one more section 43A. What it will do is this section of IT Act 2000 states that any corporate body dealing with sensitive information that fails to implement reasonable security practices causing the loss of another person will also be liable as a convict for compensation to the affected party. Okay. So what do you mean by liable is mentioned here in both languages. You can see it. So section 43A is it 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 belongs to a corporate body that is dealing with sensitive information if it fails to implement reasonable security practices causing the loss of another person, it has to pay for them. For the affected parties are nothing but the victims who are in the cybercrime. Section 66. Hacking a computer systems with malicious intentions like fraud will be punishable with 3 years imprisonment or fine of up to 5 lakhs or both. This or both is very important. Depends upon the crime. Okay. And depends upon the fraud also. Section 66 BCD. Here he combined everything BCD. It is related to fraud, dishonesty, and using or transmitting the information or identity theft is punishable with 3 years imprisonment or rupees 1 lakh fine or both. Section 66E. This section is meant for the violation of privacy by transmitting an image of a private area is punishable with 3 years imprisonment or a 2 lakhs fine or both. Section 66F. This section is on cyber terrorism affecting the unity, integrity, security and sovereignty of India through the digital mediums is liable for life imprisonment because it is disturbing the Indian constitution, especially unity of the people, integrity, security, sovereignty of India through the digital mediums is liable for life imprisonment. So be careful while you are sending any sensitive information which belongs to this category. So you will be punished with life imprisonment under section 66F of IT Act 2000. The next comes 67, section 67. This section states publishing obscene information or pornography or transmission of obscene content in public is liable for imprisonment up to 5 years or a fine of 10 lakhs or both. Obscene meaning is given here. Okay, you can read it. Moving ahead. Next comes the summary of the previous slide. Sections and punishments under the IT Act, Information Technology Act 2000 are as follows. It is a comprehensive legislation in India that governs the cyber crime and electronic transactions. It outlines various offenses and corresponding punishments. Here are some key sections and their associated penalties. As we have discussed just now, section 66A, he has given in different A, B, C there he has given as a common, but here he has separated them. Section 66A, it is dealing with punishment of for sending offensive messages through the communication services. And what is the punishment for this? Under this section 66A, imprisonment of for up to 3 years or fine up to 5 lakhs or both. Then section 66B, punishment for dishonestly receiving stolen computer resources or communication devices. Punishment for under this category is imprisonment up to for up to 3 years or fine up to rupees 1 lakh or both. The next section 66C, punishment for identity theft. He has mentioned all the three in one category only in the previous slide. So here what could be the punishment? Imprisonment up to 3 years or fine up to 1 lakh or both. Then comes section 66D, punishment for cheating by personation by using computer resource. This is not covered in the previous slide. I think so. Let us verify. Okay. So by using this section 66D, what we can do is we can approach the court for cheating by personation by using computers resources. Punishment for this one is imprisonment for up to 3 years or fine up to 1 lakh or both. Then comes section 66E, punishment for violation of privacy. So what is the punishment here is, punishment for violation of privacy. The punishment for this is imprisonment for up to 3 years or fine up to 1 lakh or both. Okay, so moving ahead, section 66F, punishment for violation of cyber terrorism. This also covered in the previous slide. You will get life imprisonment or death penalty or both. Next comes section 67, punishment for publishing or transmitting material in electronic form. In electronic form. Okay. So punishment will be here up to 3 years of imprisonment or 5 lakhs fine or both. Then comes section 67A, punishment for publishing or transmitting a material containing sexually explicit act, etc., in electronic form. Punishment here is up to 5 years imprisonment and fine up to rupees 10 lakhs or both. Then comes section 67B, punishment for publishing or transmitting material depicting children in the sexually explicit act in the electronic form. Even though the original children is not available in that case, they will morph the video and they will show that that particular child is involved in that particular act. So they will, like that, they will exploit the children sexually. Punishment for this is imprisonment for up to 10 years or fine up to rupees 10 lakhs. Then comes section 67C, preservation and retention of information by intermediaries. I told you who are intermediaries. Okay. Punishment is fine up to rupees 5 lakhs. There is no imprisonment here, only punishment in the form of fines. Next comes 72A, punishment for the disclosure or information in the breach of lawful contract. For this, punishment is up to 3 years or fine up to 1 lakh or both. Okay. So the next comes section 43, 44, 65, 66, 75. He has given in a brief instead of mentioning A, B, C like that. Section 43 is dealing with damaging to the computer system. Section 44 is dealing with hacking. Section 65 is dealing with tampering with the computer source code. Then section 66 is dealing with unauthorized access to computer systems. Section 75, this uh, act to apply for the offenses and contraventions committed outside India. Okay, so this is also very important. If any crime is committed outside the India, this IT Act section 75 will help us. It is important to note that IT Act has undergone several amendments over the years and the punishments may have changed. It's always advisable to consult a legal professional or the most accurate for the most accurate and up to date information. You have to contact especially cybercrime related lawyer who can provide you the original information. Then we will discuss about these cyber crimes and offenses and the next topic in the next video. Okay. So it's my sincere advice for all of you is please do subscribe to my channel. If you think that you will be getting disturbed by different notifications, just click only on the subscribe button, but don't click on the subscribe all. So you won't get different notifications for each and every upload of mine. So if you want to get the notifications for different videos I will post, you can click on the subscribe all button also. So thank you and I am taking leave for today.